So today we're looking at the metro, and this is the photo associated with the story. So it's a lady, and she appears to be climbing a sand dune in the desert. So this is an enormous pile of sand, and when it's in this shape here, we call this a sand dune. You can see in the background there's a sort of a hill made of sand there. We see the clouds, and we also notice she hasn't got much in the way of protection on. Well, she's got a lot of bare skin showing. I was wondering about her getting a sunburn, or getting sunburned, I should say, and no head protection. But she has got eye protection on, though. So, Ruslan, have you ever seen these sticks before? Ever seen people using these sticks when they're walking?
Yes, I saw like
Mm,
this sticks
mm,
in a park. People were using it
mm.
with walk.
As they
It,
were
it
walking, yeah.
yeah, it probably helps them uh,
Mm.
to walk. I think so.
Do you think maybe is it because she's got a bad leg or something? So, but why do you
Uh,
think she needs help walking, do you think?
I don't think that they had a problem with leg. It is just like equipment which helps people maintain their shape, I think.
Mm. Yeah, keeping
Yeah,
them fit, you're thinking. Yeah.
yeah, and probably you know what? When you use it, it help move uh, more part of our body. I mean, a leg and a shoulder and probably back. Because when
Mm,
you are without it, I think yeah, you will have less effects of
mm.
walk.
So I think what you're saying is, so if she's exercising, walking up the side of this sand dune, climbing it, really, if she didn't have the sticks, she'd only be exercising her legs. But now that she has the sticks also, and she's using that to press down as she's walking, and it helps her go up the hill, up the slope, I should say. She's
Yeah,
also using her arms and her chest and probably her back too. Yeah, I think you're right there. Yes. It probably keeps her stable as well, so she doesn't fall over.
yeah,
Because
it's
sometimes you can see with her foot there at the back, you can see it's sunk quite a way into the sand, and
mm,
so the sand sort of falls away as you step in it, and so you're a little bit unstable when you're standing on a sand dune or on sand anywhere, pretty much. So yeah, so it's
yeah,
just
exactly
stability too,
true.
I think. Okay, so let's look at the story that goes with this, and this is in the Metro newspaper.
Okay.
Um, So the metro is given away in London outside of tube stations and perhaps on buses as well. So that's a free print version in sort of physically in your hand. But obviously this is the online version that we've got here. And so the title of this story here, it says, What It's Really Like to Run One of the World's Toughest Desert Races. Mm. So it came out a day or two ago on the 6th. And Sadie Whitelocks appears to have written it. So thank you, Sadie. Let's scroll down. And there she says Sadie takes a giant dune during the race to the Wreck event. Picture Leo Francis. So this must be Sadie from what it says there. So the writer must be this lady in the photo, I imagine. Seems quite likely
Okay.
from what it said. Um, and because of the capital letters, I assume that this bit here is the title of the name of the event that she's taking place in. So this race or event must be called Race to the Wreck, which seems like a strange name, but I guess there's a good reason for that. Maybe we'll find out when we read the story. So, are you ready to have a quick read through?
Yeah, I'm
So
ready.
it's over to you then.
One second, please.
Okay.
With my walking poles stretched up before me, I uh, uh, poked them into the steep shard of sand and barely tired to haul myself up. With sweat dripping from my brow, the wind whipping sand into me from every direction, and my legs in quite a bit of pain. I admittedly started to ask myself, what the hell I was doing trying to tackle one of the world's toughest adventure races with little training to my name.
Yes. Okay. Let me stop you there. That was good.
Okay.
Very good. So let's do it in just a couple little paragraphs at a time this on this occasion. So
Oh,
anything of those two little blocks there you've read that you want to go back over again and ask anything about?
uh, yeah, there were a couple of words for,
Okay.
mm, for example, how
Hmm.
can I translate dripping?
Yeah, that's pretty much it really. Dripping. So I noticed when you said this word here, so that's sweat.
Ah, sweat.
Sweat.
Okay.
So it's so hot, the water on her face is running down her face and it's dripping off her chin, I guess. So with sweat dripping from my brow, I say is actually the brow is the top of the head, really, above your eyes. Between your hair and your eyes
Okay.
is your brow. So okay. So if I just read that bit to you again, whoops, no, just
Okay.
that little bit there. So with sweat dripping from my brow. Do you want to just say it a little bit again? So with
Yeah.
sweat dripping from my brow.
With sweat dripping from my brow.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Anything else you want to go back over again there?
Okay. Weeping, the wind weeping sand
Yeah.
into. Yeah,
Yeah.
is okay.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, that's good. I think we said yesterday about the NG sound. I can hear that's a little bit weak when you're saying it, but we'll leave that for the moment. Yeah. So let me read that line to you up to that next comma, which is there. So the wind whipping sand into me from every direction. So the wind whipping sand into me from every direction. So what it's saying is there, the wind is so strong, it's taking up the sand on the ground and it's banging it into her in every sort of possible direction.
Uh,
So whipping here, it gives the idea that it's picking it up from the ground at quite a speed. Whipping.
With speed,
Sometimes
yeah,
you might
okay.
say, if you're in a car and you're going really fast, you might say, I was whipping along in my car. It's a way of saying something's going very fast or you're going very fast. We were whipping
Okay.
along. That's an indication of speed, really. Do you want to just read that through again, that little bit there?
Yeah, the wind whipping sand into me from every direction.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it, I think.
Oh,
Anything else?
I would like to ask about pronunciation of admittedly. Yeah, admittedly.
Yeah, that's really
It is
good. I like that. Yeah, admittedly. Yeah.
it is from admit. I admit.
Mm.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it-
Yeah. That's
okay.
good. Yeah. I admitted I admittedly started to ask myself, she says. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I admittedly. Yeah. Mm. Anything
And
else?
to tackle to tackle.
Yeah,
It,
yes,
it,
to
it,
tackle. Yeah.
it is a race, yeah, like a race.
It sounded like she's doing some sort of a race, but it's not obvious from what we've just read here that it's a race. But the reason I know it's a race is because from up here, the title of the event is Race to the Wreck. So I don't know what the wreck is, but race clearly is a race, isn't it? But what we just read here, it doesn't seem to say anything about a race here, that far as I can see.
Okay, okay.
Unless I've missed it. Um, so when it says tackle, what do you think that means when it says tackle?
Mm,
What does that word
yeah,
mean?
now I change my mind
Hmm.
about what I thought before. This
Okay.
is probably like a decided, yeah, like
What
a
the word
decide
tackle means
tackle.
decided.
Yeah.
I suppose it does in a way. Yes, it does sort of mean that. Yeah, yeah. But but whenever you say tackle, there's a couple of different meanings. One is something to do with, say, fishing. Your equipment when you go fishing, you call it tackle. When you go fishing for fish, your equipment that you take with you, you can refer to that as tackle, fishing tackle. But the other
Okay.
way, another way of using it with a sort of a different meaning, really. So if you have a problem and you're going to try to deal with that problem, you say, I'm going to tackle it. You say tackle. So tackle implies you're doing something difficult,
Okay.
sorting out a
Okay.
problem or something like that. In this case, it's a race. So she
Okay.
said,
Like a dealing, yeah. Have a problem with.
yeah, deal with the problem of some sort or try to, or yeah, yeah. So it could be at work. Perhaps you're at work somewhere. I have a bit of a problem. My van's gone wrong, but I think I can tackle it. You might say something like that. My lorry's gone wrong, but I think
Okay.
I can tackle it. You might tell your boss that or something on the phone before you tried it or something. Assuming you
Okay.
do know how to tackle it. But you might also say, I don't know how to tackle this problem.
Mm.
This has never happened to me before. You might say that too, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for this. Mm, how about of the coolest? Yeah, coolest trip. Yeah, it is. No, it is. Yeah, it is. It is second. Yeah. Okay. In this paragraph,
Hmm.
yeah, that's it.
Let's do this one that's in slightly darker type. So so with these two bits here, this bit that's up here, all of these
Uh,
words up here,
yeah.
they're bigger letters, aren't they? They're blacker, and these ones are a bit not quite so black and they're a bit smaller, aren't they? So
Yeah.
when the type is like this, the letters are like this, we say this is in bold. So
Okay.
BOLD. So this all this stuff up here is in bold. I just write
Okay.
that down, that word, because I don't think I'm saying it very clearly. So when you say bold, it normally it means something like it's standing out. So those extra dark letters, slightly bigger, they're in bold. Or I'll put IN in front of it too. So that's two words I've given it there. Okay, let's just say. So these words up here, which are in bold, we haven't done these ones yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a couple of words here. So this one here, so that lady, when she was walking, if we go back to the photo, when she puts her arm out in the front, she stretches her arm out in front and sticks down the pole in the ground or in the sand, and then helps herself to uses that to help her to pull forward a little bit, to walk forward. So she stretches her arm out forward. So that's that word there, stretch. It's past tense though, isn't it? So ed on the end.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
stretched.
Right.
Um, This one here is I plowed them into the steep shard of sand and wearily tried to haul myself up. And so really she's just explaining what I just said about sticking the pole in the ground, trying to pull herself up with it. So so that's plowed. So that's plow, and then the ed makes it the past tense, of course. I know you know that, of course. Um, so it's not exactly an obvious word. The OUGH is makes it look a bit weird, doesn't it? But just so that's how the British spell it. But in America, they spell it like that. That's plow in America. Plow. So you might
Okay.
occasionally see this spelling and the one that we're just looking at on the screen there. So a
Yeah,
farmer will
yeah.
plow their ground with perhaps a tractor or something or equipment to do it. That's the American way of spelling it down here, and
Mm,
in the on the newspaper, this is the British way of doing it.
yeah.
Okay, so when it says steep, would you take that to mean or
Steep. It is means it can be a road steep. It can be a path steep. Yeah. Uh,
yeah,
it usually up. Yeah, or down.
yes, yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so steep slope. Yeah, normally I think of steep as going up. I suppose. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And
it's interesting. That.
as well,
So it's
could
this
we?
angle, the angle
Yeah.
that she's climbing. That's it, really. Yeah. Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, and about steep, could we use it in, for example, made uh, I made a cup of steep tea. Can I say like this? Steep tea?
Um, I think if you're making tea, the word it's similar, but it's a different word. So I think it's seep, isn't it? Just trying to think. No,
Steep, probably. Oh yeah,
I think
I mixed
let's
it.
let's
Yeah.
just let's finish with this one first of all.
Okay.
So a steep slope rises at a very sharp angle and is difficult to go up. So let's
Mm,
scroll down a little bit.
yeah. Steep.
Yeah, so steep increase or decrease in something is a very big increase or decrease. Okay, there we go. So let's take out the T and say seep. Um, just trying to think seep. Just trying to, um, so let's just search that on on Bing and say seep tea. I'll just tap that in, see what happens. It's brought up tea. Oh, yeah, but they are saying steep here. It looks like you're right, I'm wrong, I think, according to this. So, how to properly steep your tea, how to make tea or the art of tea. So let's put the tea back in again, the tea back there in the in seep and search it again. So that's those two adjectives. So then it says about prices rising at a steep rate. To steep food in a liquid means to put the food in the liquid for some time so that the food gets flavor from the liquid. So if a drink is made by steeping pineapple rind in water, etc., etc. Yeah, so yeah, this is the same word, but so this is the verb, and I think we had an adverb, an adjective. Yeah, an adjective.
Yeah, this is verb. Yeah, okay. And this is adjective. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it is basically the same word, same spelling, I should say. So it means to soak as a verb or immerse. So to stick it in, basically. Marinate. So again, this is cooking. Even damp. That's amazing. Steep. There we go. Again, it is a little bit. I think the walking up a steep hill gets more use, gets more use than making a cup of tea. Let's steep it.
Yeah, yeah.
Strangely, not a lot. I heard my mum say it maybe, but my mum's been dead 30 years, so she didn't say it that often.
Mm.
So I guess different cultures do different things, and at the moment in Britain, we're not really doing this very much. But we do make tea, and I guess basically the leaves are in the tea, are in the water, and they are steeping, you could say. But we just don't refer to it that way really. Oh dear, let's make that smaller again. There we go. So let's go back to the story. So there we go. So steep, and then it says shard. Whoops, shard of sand. When it says shard, what do you take that to mean?
It seems for me like a sharp. No, but it
Yeah,
can't possible.
uh,
Yeah.
well, I would say yes, actually, but I don't really understand how they're using it really. So I
Mm.
ploughed them, so this her walking poles, I ploughed them, or her feet maybe even, I ploughed them into the steep shard of sand and wearily tried to haul myself up. So there's a building in London called the Shard. Have you seen that at all? And it's near Waterloo, I think, isn't it? Waterloo Station.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, it's actually at London Bridge, isn't it? So it's quite next to, like, fairly close to Waterloo, but London
Um,
Bridge. And it's a basic. If you look at it, it does in fact. The very top of it looks like it's a bit of piece, a large, very large piece of broken glass. I think that's why it's called the Shard. I think. Um, so let's put it in here now. Oh, then they have a photograph of the building just below it. So that is a photograph of the building. I scrolled down, scroll back up again. This is
hey.
the building here, the Shard, very pointed building. It's quite distinctive because there's nothing else quite that size,
Yeah,
is there, around it?
I saw a lot of time this building here.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. And but you can't see it here, but the top of it
Yeah.
looks like there's several pieces of very huge piece of broken glass at the top. Very strange building in that sense. So they've got a capital S in there. So shards are pieces of broken glass, pottery, or metal. So it mentions nothing about sand, does it? But so there's synonyms being fragment, bit, piece, chip. So let's look at that photo. So how is that a shard, do you think? She's walking on a shard of sand. How does she mean that? What do you think?
It,
Any ideas?
it connected with the shape of desert,
Of
desert
of the dune, or yeah, so the desert.
of the desert.
So
Yeah.
this mountain of sand, we call that a dune. So Dune, dune. Um, and it's a bit flat in a way, but you can see there's a sharpish edge here, you might say. And here it's
Yeah.
down one way, and here that's the top, and then it's down the other way. So you might say this is sharp. You might say this is an edge here, and maybe because it's very hot and it's very difficult, you might want to call it sharp because it's painful, perhaps. So she may simply be saying shard because it's difficult and it's painful and the sun's burning on her. And maybe all the sand, you see sand on her knee there. Maybe the sand is in her shoe as well. And it's uncomfortable, maybe even painful with the heat as well. So maybe that's why she's saying shard, because a shard of glass would cut you. And it's painful, isn't it? It can be painful anyway. So a
It
shard
could
of
be.
glass, normally a broken piece of glass. You could be a sharp piece of shard of metal as well, but normally most people think of it as shard of glass. But she's saying a shard of sand, and wearily tried to haul myself up. So it's a little bit sort of is it poetic, maybe descriptive writing, I suppose. Makes it slightly interesting to say shard of sand. So we had some new words there. Do you fancy just reading it through? So there was stretched was a new not a new word, but a word that might to practice, I think. And
Okay.
Cloud as well, and maybe
cloud,
steep, shard,
shower.
and maybe wearily is a bit tricky, maybe too,
Yeah,
and perhaps
very
haul. So if you have a
full.
lorry and it's full of goods in the back of the lorry, you could say you're hauling those goods. So if you're moving something from one place to another, you're hauling it.
Okay, full.
Yeah, haul.
Like a carry, yeah, something.
Yeah, you could have it on your back and say you're hauling it. You are hauling it. That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, let's try.
Okay, over to you then.
With my walking poles, with my walking poles stretched up before me, I plodded them into the steep chart of sound and wearily tried to pull myself up.
Yeah, that's pretty
Or,
good.
uh,
That's definitely good actually. I'll read it for you this time, and
yeah,
then it'd be your last go after that, I think. So I don't know why I'm highlighting it for, but okay. So with my walking poles stretched up before me, I ploughed them into the steep shard of sand and wearily tried to haul myself up. So over to you, you'll go.
okay. With my walking poles stretching up before me, I plowed them into steep chord of sound and wearily tried to haul myself up.
Yeah, that's even better actually. It's even better that one.
Yeah, little bit here. It is
Um,
tricky to remember, and
yeah, because there's several tricky words in one sentence. So yeah, it is hard. It's not
yeah,
easy. So both times you've said this one, when you're saying it, so it's actually pronounced sand, sand. But when you're saying it, I'm hearing sound, sound,
ah,
sound.
oh my gosh,
So it's sand,
sand.
sand. Yeah,
Yeah,
sand.
like a send the letter. Yeah, it is very close. Yeah,
Send. Um, so let's type out some of these words.
yeah.
So what I thought you said first of all was sound when you read that word out, but now it sounds like you're saying send. But
Yeah,
the actual word is sand. Oh, I spelled it wrong myself then. Sand. So that's the three words I think we've just talked about, I think. So let me just say, I'd say from the bottom up. So the word on the screen that we're reading out is sand. Sand.
sand.
Just listen for the moment and send. Send. And sound. Sound. So I'll do it again. Just listen for the moment from the bottom up. So sand. Sand. Send. Send. Sound. Sound. You'll go. So from the bottom up, then you do it as you want to.
Stand, stand, sound.
Your sound is quite clear. That's it. Yeah, your sound's quite clear. These ones don't sound quite so sure at the
Yeah,
moment.
very similar. Yeah,
So, so how are you just saying? So is really this word here at the bottom? It's s or s, let's say, and then and. And is a very common word in English. So how would you pronounce and just this word on its own down the bottom and oh you're cutting out just as you say it, you're cutting out and all I'm getting is I'm not getting
okay,
anything.
okay. Stand, stand,
Oh
stand.
that one there was very good. Yeah,
Okay,
sand
I need to make an short. Yeah, probably. Sand, sand,
sand. Yeah, that sounds really good. How are you saying it
sand.
there? Sand.
And next one, sand.
Yes, that's getting better. It's about
Mm,
80% that one. That's good. And again,
yeah,
sand. And again.
sand.
Ooh, it's about 75%. Yeah, so it's not
Oh,
bad, but it
mhm.
could be clearer.
Sand.
Now, then I heard that word there.
Oh my gosh.
So you were good, then you're getting not so good, then not so good,
Yeah.
then poorer, and then you lost it completely. So it's funny, really. So that
Yeah.
word there, we say that as and, and on the end of this other word here that we're trying to say, it's got end. So we think of these two words, sand, and end as being really very different. I think most people
Okay.
do. So
And
if I just say both these words down here,
yeah, okay.
and, and, end, end.
Okay.
So with these words we're doing up here with the S's on front, really it's just an S in front of
Yeah.
and an S in front of end. That's all they really are in a way, pretty much. Not exactly, but pretty much. So if you get these ones really clear, hopefully you should get the other ones clear up here. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So just do these ones down here for the moment. So
Okay.
and end.
And uh and and
Um, it doesn't sound as clear as I'd like
mm-hmm,
it, I think,
mm-hmm,
really. But also you're cutting out a little bit, so I'm not hearing you
mm-hmm.
exactly
Yeah.
either.
Uh,
So do you think you've got it though? Do you think you are
no,
getting it?
no, no, no.
You don't feel very yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
let's just
feel
carry on. Let's carry on for a moment or two then. So let me just do the top one here. So and and
and
so yeah, I'm just not hearing you properly. So and
and
this one here is end.
okay. The first one is and and no.
I'm just not
First one
hearing.
is and
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
second one is and. Oh my, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah, no, that's reasonable. I could hear the difference between them then. I could hear definitely the difference. But it's definitely your end isn't quite strong enough. So at the beginning of end, at the beginning, this is quite powerful, I suppose. There's a lot of energy goes into that. But when I'm hearing you saying it's sort of dying off a little bit. It's quite weak.
Okay, okay.
Um, So you're gonna have to, I don't know, stretch your stretch your vocal cords or whatever it is that makes those sounds. So let's just do it a couple more times. So end, end.
And
Can you do it to that volume? End,
and
end.
and and
Hmm.
and
Yeah, yeah. That sounds good actually. I think that sounds good. So maybe then to do this one here, maybe. So uh, and and you're totally cutting out now. I just can't hear you at all. S- Some
yeah.
some you think you're doing it, do you? You think you're getting it?
No, I think I need to have more practice with this, yeah,
Mm.
because I don't know how
Well,
to repeat it
mm,
clearly,
okay. Well, all I
Ricky.
noticed. So when you
Yeah,
were reading it out before, when you're reading out
yeah.
on the screen over here, I think your and the one in blue here is pretty clear. But it's when you come to this one, the end, it just wasn't quite. That's not true, actually, is it? So I'm just trying to think now. When you're reading it here, I should say, right now, you seem to be getting your and seems reasonably good, but your send it's a bit sort of in the middle. Sometimes I can hear it clearly, and sometimes it sounds like the one above it. So, so I think from what I'm hearing, it sounds now you're more confident on the sand, but sometimes these other words creep in a little bit. Um, Sometimes when you're practicing, it actually helps to have a break and to stop practicing. So I think that's what we'll do here.
Yeah.
because you end up going backwards at some point. So in other words, sometimes it's that the practice needs to embed it in, it needs to get embedded in your brain. And so you need to sleep on it perhaps,
Yeah,
or come
sleep on
back
it.
to
Yeah.
it on
I
in
will
an hour's
write it
time.
down. Yeah, and in
Yeah,
my free time, I will try to repeat it. Yeah, and
but don't overdo it. So no more. See, the length of time we spent here is probably about the absolute maximum. So I wouldn't spend any more because
okay,
we're starting to go backwards a little bit. So only spend say 5, maybe 10 minutes practicing it. And perhaps, as I've said previously, stick it in one of these dictionaries, online dictionaries, so you can hear the word
uh,
being said.
yeah,
Tap in and end, perhaps. Or maybe the word,
okay,
it's sand, isn't it? Sand and send, I should say, really. Not really that word. But,
yeah,
yeah, okay. So let's carry on for a little bit longer if we can. Maybe a couple more paragraphs. So do you fancy doing two or
okay,
three more paragraphs, maybe to there? Is that okay?
okay, okay. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
okay.
You see, I had heard of a rat race for quite some time, and how this adventure company runs some of the coolest trip going for these who enjoy travel with a twist. Started by a madcap adventure, Jim Me in 2004. The company runs physically demanding challenges around the world, from Mongolia to Morocco. Jim tells Metro that he's uh, drawn to the fingers of the map and making adventure-filled memories to last a lifetime. In a bit to find out of a rat race trip are all about. I checked out the website and signed up for one of its annual extra extravagances,
Mm-hmm.
a race to the rank, um, nabbing one of the final spots.
Mm.
Sport,
Yes.
sport, sport, sports.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah,
Yes. So what
sports.
does that mean when, so there's a little bit of a saying there. If I highlight that bit there, that's
Okay.
something of an idiom. Well, not really an idiom, but a saying maybe. What do you think that means? What do you take from
Yeah.
that?
Okay. I know 100% what
Mm.
means final
Mm.
sports. It is like your destination, yeah, or
Mm.
place
Mm. Mm.
where you
Yes.
finish your
Yes.
trip, yeah, and about
Mm.
nabbing one. It is probably tricky one, yeah. I was a challenging
Mm.
nabbing, like no nabbing.
Um, in a way, if you're nabbing something, it could be a bit of a challenge. It could be. And I suppose there is a slight idea of it being a bit of a challenge and a bit lucky that she got
Mhm.
one. So you're sort of pretty much there really. So but some bits of it are a little bit sort of slightly different. So if you're nabbing something, you could say you're getting something. So
Okay,
getting one
getting.
with another case. But there's also a little
Okay.
bit, but also the idea of nabbing, there's a little bit, it sounds like you're cheekily getting something. It's a bit naughty in getting one. Um, if you nab something, you might have stolen it, possibly.
Ah, you might
It's,
just start here. Okay.
but I said might have, so I'm not saying, oh, it's been stolen. There's a little bit of sort of speed about it, or let's tap that word in the dictionary, because I must be missing some detail here, I think, probably. So let's tap it into the dictionary. So I just tapped in nabbing. That's what it comes up with. So it comes from the word nab. Let's look up
Mm.
nab. And it's just below. I love that. Oh, here we go. So to arrest. So a policeman might arrest you. That might
Mm.
be you've been nabbed, I suppose. To catch someone in wrongdoing. To seize. Here, oh, this is one we're using for. To seize, suddenly, snatch. That's really our one, I think, isn't it? So it comes from the
Yeah,
Scandinavian, Danish, Swedish, to snatch. Napper. Napper. That's interesting. And that's it. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised it just says that. So maybe if we just click on that, maybe it gives it to a different transitive. So they're saying as a verb, if people in authority, such as the police, nab someone who they think has done something wrong, they catch them or arrest them.
Mhm.
So it's the seize suddenly or snatch. That's how we're using it. Oh, she's using it in her little bit there. That's interesting. But
Yeah,
I would
that's
say a lot
interesting.
of people use the idea of nab. Also, here that they're saying nab to steal, so
Ah,
steal or snatch, but it's more American. But I would say we use it too that way too. That's interesting, isn't it? It's actually fascinating where words come from. So there's this slight naughtiness feeling there, isn't there? But it's also but it's really this. She got it suddenly. She nabbed one quickly, but and the point was it was one of the final. So there weren't many places that could be taken, and she got one of the final ones. So she nabbed it at the end. That's it. That's the idea there. So when it says final spots, it's not really talking about the final place that the final place of their trip. She means that on this race that she's doing, it's some sort of a race, isn't it? An annual race done once a year. There might be 50 people or 100 people that are doing it, and you have to apply to do it. And maybe just as she was applying, it was at 99, and there was only one more place to get to the 100, and then they would stop it. And so when they stopped it, it would have been no more people could get a place or a spot. So she got one
okay.
of the final spots. That's what she's really saying there.
Okay.
So there's a
Could we?
limited number of people who could do it, and she got one of the final positions or one of the final spots. That's what she's really saying. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. Could we say, for example,
Hmm.
that she booked, yeah, sports, final sports,
That's
yeah,
basically what she's doing. Yeah, she's
yeah,
booking. I booked one of
yeah.
the final spots. That's it. Yes.
Okay, but yeah, I was wrong in this case. Yeah,
No, it's
I
worth a
thought,
guess. And you weren't that wrong, really. You were there. You're in the area. Let's say you're in the area. So
yeah.
what about extravaganzas? So it's plural,
Ex
I think.
Extravagant. It is like something excited. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Something exciting. Something to look forward to. Something interesting. It's an event. Oops, I left the S on there. Make it rid of the S. So extravaganza. So an
Hmm.
extravaganza is a very elaborate and expensive show or performance. So it's a spectacular, down the bottom, show, spectacle, a display. So when they're doing this race,
Yes.
they are the extravaganza. The people in the race are the extravaganza. They're the
Um,
show. They're the spectacle. They're the thing
yeah.
that's exciting. So other people who are watching them and perhaps shouting and say, "Yeah, yeah, you can
Yeah.
win."
Okay.
They
Okay.
become part of the extravaganza. I think, to my mind, anyway. So again, the race seems to be called Race to the Wreck. So we have to find out what that is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked how you said Mongolia and Morocco. That was really quite clear and spot on. Anything else that you read out that you want to go back
Hmm.
over with?
Beast. How about who enjoy travel with a twist? I don't understand the twist. A twist, it is equipment or what she want to say.
So travel with a twist. So it could be anything with a twist, really. So, but we're reading another story, aren't we? The Roman Rudin stories at the moment. And
Yeah.
you could say a lot of those stories have a twist in them, a twist. So it's a twist, you could say, is something that's unexpected, something that's peculiar. That's a twist.
Something
So
unexpected. Yeah, that
yeah, so
probably she
here it's
can't predict.
travel with a twist. So not necessarily unexpected, but something unusual, probably. You probably don't want to go on a holiday and find something unusual, on something unexpected. But you would like it to be something unusual, something that's not like your normal
Yeah,
holidays, I
yeah.
suppose. Yeah.
I would say, for example, it is was unpredictable travel. Yeah, we can replace yeah a twist with unpredictable. Yeah,
I think a lot of ladies wouldn't like an unpredictable holiday. They wouldn't like that.
yeah, yeah.
So, not exactly. So, let's put the word twist in there and let's see what comes up. So, if you twist something, you turn it to make a spiral shape, for example, by turning the two ends of it into into opposite direction. So you can twist a bit of metal or twist a bit of cotton or something. If you
Yeah,
twist something, especially a part of your body, or if it twists, or if it twists, it moves in an unusual, uncomfortable, or bent position. So if you twist your ankle, that's a bad thing to do. It's painful. So that's the sort of thing they're referring to there, I guess. Then there's a big
yeah,
gap, and then it says twist.
yeah.
If you twist part of your body, such as your head or shoulders, you turn that part of your while keeping the rest of your body still. So you might turn your head or turn your body around or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, okay, okay.
So if you twist part of your body, such as your ankle, oh, this is the other one I just referred to. You can twist your ankle, twist your wrist. You injure it by turning it too sharply. No, that's not that one, is it? I forgot the one we're even looking for now. Um, There's a lot of twists, isn't there? So if you say that someone has twisted something, disapprove. So you could twist around people's words, I think they're saying there, and make it mean something different that they didn't intend. A twist is something that, oh, here we go. A twist is something, sorry, a twist in something is an unexpected and significant development. I think that's what there is. That's sort of mean they mean there.
Yeah, unexpected.
Yes, maybe that one. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It has a lot
that
of
sort of
meaning.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 10 of them. Then it's 10.
Oh my God.
Let's go on. Well, they're probably very similar. Some of them are quite similar, aren't they? Twist your ankle, twist your head. I mean, sort of,
Okay, okay.
twist the knife, twist your, get your knickers in a twist. If you get your knickers in the twist, that means you're getting overexcited about something or too angry
Uh,
about something, maybe. And it also says to twist someone's arm. That means you're slightly forcing somebody to do something. Just sort of trying to force someone to do something. But it's often in sort of a nice-ish kind of a way.
mm,
Can I twist your arm to give me another cake? That kind of a thing. Or
uh,
another cup of tea, or perhaps, or something like that. Yeah, a lot of
mm,
usages there, isn't there? It makes it quite
yeah.
tricky when you're trying to learn a language. So, for those who enjoy travel with a twist, so I would say it's more that it's something unusual is the idea, something that's out of the ordinary, but not something necessarily unexpected. So I think if you went on holiday and something unexpected happened, some of the people might hate it.
It's,
They might not like it. They might complain. They might want their money back. So it's just something out of the ordinary, and they probably know what it
organ.
is. So you rather than go on holiday to, I don't know, the to the pyramids, because we're talking about the sand. Why not go on a holiday to, I don't know, the middle of the desert or something? No, no, I wouldn't like that probably, but that would be a twist, a big twist, something unusual. It doesn't really. Well, anything else you want to ask about here? Oh, there's something I noticed thinking about it. Um,
Okay, okay.
there's this little quote here. That's in little quote marks, isn't it? There.
Yeah, quote marks. Yeah.
So I would read this out as the fringes of the map. The fringes of the map. Do you want to just say
Fringes,
that again? The fringes of the map. Do you want to read that out?
fringes of the map. Yeah, okay. But I said fingers, probably.
Yeah, the fingers of the map. Yes. So the fringes is sort of the edges, the far edges,
Ah,
the
far edges.
places where probably most people haven't been to, the unusual places. And that sort of comes back to twist in a way, doesn't it? Because it's the
Yeah.
twist, it's the edges that people probably haven't gone to. That might be the slightly more interesting place to go to, more exciting, maybe. I don't know. So, and you could say, so there's a couple, so there's a couple of different meanings to fringe. This is plural, of course, here. But so your girlfriend probably has a fringe, might do, and it's the hair that hangs over the top of your head, sort of thing, hangs over your eyes. That's your fringe. I don't have a fringe because I'm a bit on the bald side. Does that make sense?
I think. Hmm.
So the first thing,
Yeah.
37 fringe hairstyles. So
Um,
the hair above her eyes, that's her fringe there.
a fringe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, fringe.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Sort of a fringe, but I wouldn't say she's got a fringe, this lady here, to my mind. I said because the hair is going to the sides, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe this is with a fringe, that's without a fringe, maybe on this photo here, I would guess. So that's fringe in terms of hairstyle. Is that a fringe in the middle? I see she's got a fringe there, definitely, but I don't think
Yeah.
this lady has a fringe. It's because it isn't really, it's not hanging loose above her eyes. This, she has a fringe. The one at the beginning has a fringe. I don't know why I'm bothering about that.
Mhm.
It's probably because I don't have any hair. That's why I'm probably looking at it so much. Because I want to have hair.
Oh, yeah. I have the
So,
same problem with the hair.
do you? Not that I noticed. You have. I think you do have a fringe, don't you? Do you have a fringe? Do you have your hair
Yeah, a
hang
little
out?
bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought that.
but
Yeah.
it just on the middle, but size, yeah,
Hmm.
it's not so
You don't
in
have any
for
fringe down the
fringe.
sides.
Yeah,
I think officially, fringe when it's the hair, it's just the front above the eyes. Really, it's just the front.
yeah,
Okay, let's call it a day there. Otherwise, we'll
yeah,
go on forever and ever and ever.
yeah. Okay,
So let's end with that photo, maybe. There we go. The lady climbing. So this is Sophie Whitlocks, I think, wasn't it? There
yeah.
we go. So we know a little bit more about her.
Sorry.
So now we know a little bit more about her. So
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
first looked at it, didn't even know what her name was or what she was doing or why she was
yeah,
doing it.
yeah.
But
Of
now we do
course.
know. So
Mhm.
there we go.